Welcome back, folks. I'm me, Phil Terrell. You're watching part 13 of Final Fantasy VIII Let's Play. So, we are going to go ahead and use the elevator to go down to the MD level because we need to save the garden from these missiles, or missiles. And Sid has a hunch that whatever is on the basement level of the garden is going to be able to save, or at the very least protect, the garden from these missiles that we have programmed to miss 75% of the time. So hopefully these missiles will not be hitting that 25% percentage. So, but per RPG God logic, we are not going to be able to go down this elevator really easy because for a reason the power's been cut. They cut the power, man. How'd they cut the power? Anyways, oh man, I can't wait to watch Alien Romulus. Anyways, I digress. Let's go ahead and go down the elevator, and then we're going to go down this hatch. This ladder is going to provide us access down to the next spot we're supposed to be going. And if you stop and think about this, actually I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it. But anyways, bad things can happen in this elevator shaft, as we are about to see right about now. So there was no door right above this little entryway. So where exactly is this elevator stopping? I mean, maybe the brakes just happened to catch right before Renault became squished. But we're going to go down this hatch that Squall is going to have a hard time opening, which is just a foreboding of a little puzzle that's to come, or I guess minigame. So we're in this thing that looks like an oil stratum, as Squall says right here. He's thinking about, maybe I should tell these guys that we should use elemental junction for fire here. So luckily we do have the elemental attack junction, because if we are going to have elemental junction, because no matter what guardian forces you have, Ifrit, one of the three mandatory guardian forces, are going to have it. But long story short, you already should have been using this for a while. But Squall's gonna say, hey, go ahead and equip Fire or Faraga to your elemental attack junction, and we should have an easier time here. I want to say almost all the enemies down here are weak against fire, or if not, they just have a neutral defense against fire. But if you can equip 100 fire spells, that would be that would probably be the better of the options. Most people probably would not have Faraga here unless they power leveled and they decide, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and power level to level 30. That way I can get the best spells from drawing and items, so forth and so on. And what are you doing past Phil? So if you equip 100 fire spells, you'll get 80% to your attack for fire. Faraga 100 will give you 100% for your elemental attack for fire. So that means 100% of your attack will be fire based. But we go in here and then we get into this infamous button mashing sequence I do not like. Infamous for me because I've never once succeeded in doing this. So I've read that you have to hit the X or the square if you're using PlayStation controller 100 times in 10 seconds. I'm not that quick. I'm not one of my friends that can thunder thumbs this for 100 times. But luckily, if you fail the first time, your second party member is going to help you. And Zell, were you trying to roll up your sleeves? If you have two party members, I believe it's 50. If you have three, I want to say it's 25 or 20. And if you somehow fell with three party members, all you gotta do is just do it once. But with Zell and Squall, we will be able to turn this valve and open the passageway to go down even more. So we're gonna go ahead and exit this door and go out. Now I think maybe if you complete it with Squall by himself, I want to say maybe you get a seed rank increase, but it's not worth it to me to break my thumbs on hitting that button mashing thing. I'm not a big fan of button mashing mechanics, but that's just me. No use breaking my thumbs over it. It's just a seed rank, and like I said, money's kind of not super important. I think all the money aspects of the game we kind of already we're done paying, that I know of. I could be wrong, unless you want to rent vehicles, but you shouldn't need to rent vehicles. But anyways, we make it further down here, and we get to this area right here. That draw point is a full life, so I'm going to choose to have Renoa draw from that full life draw point, because she has the higher magic stat. And I may have said this earlier, but if you have a high magic stat, have that person draw from the draw point, because they have a better chance of getting more spells than a person who, say, like Zell, who does not have a high magic stat. And I'm going to go ahead and have Card equipped here to Renault, because there's an enemy here that I want to face, I'm going to show. And a bit of a humorous part that shows up here with Angelo. But we need to go up to the second floor. I don't know how many floors this is, but we need to go up, because this is just one gigantic circle. as you see the party members looking at us, we need to go all the way over there. So, and bear in mind the way this ladder is facing where that control room is in a minute. So we have to go up. So I was like, oh, it's over there. And Renault's like, well, Squall. So you have a choice, but I want to go ahead and have Squall go by himself. I think even if you choose to have everyone go, someone makes a mention that the ladder does not look safe, so just have Squall go by himself. And then as we go partway up, Murphy's Law, anything bad that can happen will happen, will rear its ugly head right here, and it's going to fall down. So Squall is going to break through the glass, through the control room that the ladder was not even facing, so that's pretty humorous. But anyways, I'm not going to complain. We got where we needed to go. So maybe Squall fell through a trans-dimensional pocket space and landed in a right spot. I don't know. Anyways, examine that control panel to open up the bottom portion here. And then we can go back down. Now, you cannot go through the door because the door is going to lead to the place we needed to go down with the ladder, or come up from the ladder. But since the ladder's right here, we're just going to go right back down the same way. Now, if you want to just continue, you go where that green blinking dot is and open the gate, and then we'll go down the ladder, and then you'll be done. You can have Squall answer if you're scared, I'm not scared, or yeah, I was scared. I put kind of. I'm going to spend a little bit of time here looking for that particular enemy. It's called a Tri-Face. If you've been grinding, triple triad cards and gotten a few Tri-Faces, you kind of know what it looks like, and it's a more dangerous enemy because the enemy has a very good chance of confusing your party member as well as poison, but confusion is the main worry. But we're going to go ahead and face a Buell first, I believe. Yeah, and these Buells are very weak in physical attacks. They have very low HP, so Zelle's going to 1-2 it, and it's going to go down. So not too impressive. Didn't even give us that much experience for the looks of it. So we're going to keep hunting around for a Buell. Not Buell. We're going to keep hunting for a Tri-Face, but I'm going to go ahead and open up the gate here. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to save my game. Because, why not save our game? In case bad stuff happens. I just remembered at that point, yeah, Tri-Faces have confusion. I've had a game over here once a long time ago because I was not properly prepared for a Tri-Face, and it was not a fun time. Luckily, we didn't get a game over here. So, this encounter between a Geezer and a Blood Soul, Geezers are not too difficult to deal with, but the Blood Souls could be a bit of a gimmicky enemy. As you can see there, it casts Zombie on Renoa, and Zombie stats, if I haven't explained already. Any kind of curative spells like Cure, Cura, Curaga, Life, Full Life will do damage to your character. Now in the case of Life and Full Life, it will act as a death spell, so they will die, and they will lose their zombie stats, so there's no longer a zombie, they're just dead. They're not dead, or re-dead, or re-undead, I don't know. Anyways, to cure a zombie status, you just need to use Holy Water, you can use Remedy, you can use Insunia from your magic pool, or you can use Treatment if you have Siren's treatment ability. But let's see what this enemy, I think, is this the one where, no, this is not the one where Angelo is going to massacre her owner. So, same unique encounter, well, it's kind of the same encounter, but we have 2 Geezers and 1 Blood Soul. So, we're going to go ahead and take out these Geezers, and really, I should be making the Blood Souls my priority. As you can see, they're susceptible to sleep, so one of my favorite status elements works really well here. So, get the Geezers, and then we're going to hunt around for another Tri-Face. And again, if you can, equip your Confuse spells to the stats defense of at least one of your characters. And try not to have the item command equipped, or even your magics, unless it's on the 100 Confuse status, if you want to say element, status defense junction character. This right here is very humorous. I wanted to keep this in because Blood Souls, once they see that your character is cured or zombified, they would cast Curaga. Luckily Renoa, or unluckily for Renoa, she had enough HP, but Angelo's going to finish the job because, dogs. He's like, I hate you for leaving me behind! Ruff, ruff! But that was pure humorous that her dog just took her out and just finished the job. But anyways, we're going to 1-2 the Blood Soul. Okay, the Blood Soul did not die. But what's interesting about the Blood Souls is that unique combo. It's very gimmicky, but it's actually pretty humorous. But another thing that's cool is that we're going to go ahead and use Angela, and she's going to use, well, we're going to have Renoa use Angela. Angela's going to use Invincible Moon. And this is one of the more broken limit breaks. It can cast Invincible status. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's pretty broken, which means the enemy can no longer attack me, hurt me, do anything to me. It does 0 damage. But on the reverse side, I want to say you also cannot cast any positive status elements to yourself, like double, triple, protect, shell, that sort of thing. So it's kind of a double-edged sword in that regard, but I mean, really, this is just your opportunity to draw spells from very strong super bosses, like, say, Omega Weapon. But we won't talk about that. Like I said, if I decide to take on the super boss Omega Weapon, I'm going to do it on my own terms. I am not going to do that thing legitimately. If it works, don't. If it works, don't fix it. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. This right here, this lovely thing here, the Tri-Face. One of its open attacks is to use poison gas. Most of the time, I want to say that's one of the more common types. But you see there, Squall is on a Lazy Susan, spinning around. He is confused, and he will attack, and he decides to take out Renoa again. But really, you want to have confusion spells equipped to your status defense junction, because your characters, when confused, will use their items on the enemies, and will use positive magic on the enemies as well. So you do not want to have that happen. So you want to have Zell use a remedy on Squall, and we're going to go ahead and try to fix ourselves. Now, if you can steal from Tri-Faces at, I think this is a low-level Tri-Face actually, you can steal 3 or 2 curse spikes. At the medium levels, I think you can steal 4, and at the high levels, you can steal 6. And then I would recommend carding them, so you can get another curse spike. And the reason, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to try to get Quistis's ultimate limit break, Shockwave Pulsar, which requires you to have 100 curse spikes to refine it into 1 dark matter, I believe. And 1 dark matter will teach Quistis the Shockwave Pulsar attack. And to my limited knowledge, well, not limited, but to my knowledge, that's the only way you can get Shockwave Pulsar. Maybe through, if you had Chocobo World, if you still have that little device for the PlayStation, if you're doing this on PlayStation, or Angelo's Search, that was greatly expanded in the remakes or remasters for the PC. Maybe you can get that in a very rare instance, but I'm just going to go ahead and get the curse spikes. And there's a much better way to farm Tri-Faces, where they're instant encounters. So go ahead and flip the switch when you're ready. This will open the door in the back, and we will have a boss fight when we cross that bridge with some oil boilies. I don't know. We're just call them oil squids, oil octopuses. I don't know. Oil Cthulhu's. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But you want to make sure you have, if your physical attackers are not equipped with blind status on their status defense, I would recommend doing that, or having treatment from Siren, or having them draw command, because the draw command for this battle is going to be particularly useful, because these bosses, like I said, oil squids. Not really squids, but that's what I imagine. But they have Insunia and they have Cura, they also have Confusion. So their magic pool has everything you need to beat them. You don't have to really rely on your magic pool unless you really want to. Their main attacks will consist of physical attack that you saw them. I guess they're sucking the brain juice out of Zell or blood, I don't know. It hurts a decent amount. The more damaging attacks will be Oil Shot and Oil Blast. I believe Oil Blast is a more desperation attack once they hit a particular HP threshold. But Oil Shot has a chance of blinding, as you can see Squall right here is about to get blinded. Right? No, he didn't get blinded yet. Squall may not be so bad when he's blinded because he has a perfect accuracy, which I don't know if that factors into blindness, but it doesn't really matter. You can still cast Insunia, but for Zell, that would most definitely be a problem. They're weak against fire, so if you have Fire Elemental on your attacks, like I guess Squall does, I believe, it will hurt them quite a lot. Oil Blast is their desperation attack. It will do a lot of damage. And almost, I think it did a little bit more than half of Squall's HP. And they're going to choose to just gang up on Squall, which is pretty bad because Squall is my best damage dealer outside Guardian Forces. So they took out Squall, but luckily we do have Phoenix down, so let's go ahead and fix Squall up. And we're going to have Zell attempt to use Kira on Squall. I don't know how well it's going to be. Let's see. Maybe we'll get lucky. Yes, we got very lucky. So, go ahead and beat up on one of these, and then on the second one, I'm going to go ahead and draw spells, particularly Sunya and Confuse, because Confuse is a very nice spell to stock up, especially if you go Malboro hunting or Tri-Face hunting later in the game. Malboros, you kind of want to, because you can get a very powerful Guardian Force by farming them, unless you get Marble Tentacles to triple try, which might take a while. Another attack that uses Sonic Waves, which will curse the enemy party, which means I cannot use limit breaks, even if I get to a low HP threshold. But that's really it. But if you don't rely on limit breaks, this status doesn't really do anything. But dealing a lot of damage with Squall and Zell with physical attacks alone is really, really powerful alone by themselves. I don't know why I casted Sunya on Renoa. I think that was about to be done here. No, we're not done. So I have to use Oil Blast. And the dangerous thing about Oil Blast, as you can see there, they use it and they can attack right away. So that's the dangerous thing about Oil Blast. I would highly recommend not using Guardian Forces to do damage to both of them at the same time. Because what could happen is they could both use Oil Blast on two different characters and then attack two different characters and take them out right away. So you're down to one, which is super dangerous. You don't want that happening. If you have a Mega Phoenix from getting it from the girl with the pigtails in the library, if you had Zell in your party, that might be mitigated a little bit, but you know, why be put in that situation? Just take one out at a time. With that, we take out the oil boilas. Okay, oil squids. We should get some wizard stones. I need to get 8 from each. Yeah, 8 from each. We get 20 AP, so very good. Our Guardian Forces gain some abilities. I'm going to spend probably a minute when we go downstairs to to change our abilities, even though we're going to see missiles heading our way. So go down here. We're already done with the dungeon. And we're going to get missiles. And these missiles have cat eyes on the lenses, which is pretty interesting. I didn't think they have those kind of lenses, like LED cat eye lenses. Even Squeak. Anyways, enough of that. These missiles, I don't know why that made me think about Star Fox for a minute, that formation they had there. Anyways, I was thinking if I was going to try to quote Star Fox there, but it's been a long time since I played Star Fox 64. Anyways, I want to go ahead and spend a little bit of time here rearranging my Guardian Forces abilities, particularly the ones that learn ability. I think the only one I'm really going to change is Diablos, because he learned Magic plus 20%. I think I'm going to change it to Magic 40%. And I'm going entirely off the cuff right now. I don't have notes in front of me at the moment. I've been doing good for the last 2 parts, I think. I'm going to push my luck in this part, maybe the next one. But with that, we're at this giant contraption. That silvery gray looking part, I always thought that had spider webs there, but I think that's just part of the design. But let's go ahead and see if Sid's hunch is right. We're going to go to this control panel and just, as Squall said, how the heck am I supposed to know? Not even the headmaster knows. So we're going to touch the middle, I guess, control stick looking thing and see what happens. But I don't know. Nothing's happening. Yo, what the heck are you doing? I don't know. What else can I do? Look, dude, I'm just pushing random stuff. And that random stuff seems to have done something. So we are in luck because the awesome music that plays in here, I really particularly like this track that plays with the garden. I call it the Garden Awakening song, but I don't exactly know what the track is called. Maybe Future Phil can add the track name here. But we've stirred the garden to awaken. And now all we gotta do is figure out how are we going up to the ceiling? Well, the ceiling is right above, so are we gonna get crushed? And as fate has it, this control panel is gonna erupt right from underneath Sid into his room. And this track reminds me of Final Fantasy IX in a way. I can't think of the track from Final Fantasy IX. I want to think it has something to do with Limblum or something like that. Anyways, this particular part right here that's playing at the moment, that reminds me. But anyways, the ring that's above Garden is coming down and is transforming Garden into Mega Garden, almost like a Mega Evolution, or maybe a Digi-Evolution. Think about Digimon. Garden Digivolve to Mega Garden, or I don't know. Anyways, War Garden. Anyways, the missiles are incoming, so we did this just in time. So hopefully we save the Garden. The missiles are going to come down and they're going to miss. Now, if you didn't change the error ratio on these missiles, the Garden doesn't transform and the missiles do hit and the Garden doesn't get blown up. But that happens at the end of the missile-based sequence. So, but luckily we did all the necessary stuff. So the Garden is saved and we are going to see the fruits of our labors and see what's happening. Because, I mean, right now a civil war is happening in the Garden. So, I just realized, what about the people outside the Garden? Because there was people running outside the Garden. Maybe they made it all inside? Well, let's just hope. That would be very unfortunate if bad stuff happened to the students here. It says, like, I see. So this is the secret. Which is kind of interesting because SIDS in Final Fantasy are known for airships, and this isn't exactly an airship, but it's kind of funny that this SID gave us a vehicle, not an airship. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and follow Zell's lead and go and see what's up, or what's down. Go down, not up. And I particularly like the next particular FMV that occurs. If you ever know, that's why I like having Renault in my party. Occasionally, very rarely will I have Zell not in my party. Only because I want to get that Mega Phoenix in the library. But as you can see, people are losing their minds at this one guy running around in particular. If you talk to some of the students, they're like, what the heck is happening? I think I ended up talking to one of the students here, one of the guy in the classroom right here. It's incredible, go check it out, bro. So go to where you found Shu, go in the back door right here and you'll get out to this little podium or outdoor overlooking area. If you ever know it, then this FMV plays, and it's one of my favorite FMVs. But I also got some bad history with this FMV. A long time ago when I rented this for the PlayStation, the disc was rather badly scratched, so the scene would freeze right here before it shows Renoa, and then it would skip, and then it would go back to where you control Squall, and the door to go back into the Garden would not open. So, very funny little bit of history there. Sometimes it gives me a little bit of PTSD thinking about those days, especially since after I bought the game for myself, I was like, please don't freeze, please don't freeze. But you go back here, Shu will fetch Squall. We will go back to Sid's room because there's a problem. There's no one steering this Garden, or I should say, no one steering this boat, a giant bathtub of a boat. Squall, the controls are not responding, and you know they expect Squall to figure it out just because he turned this thing on. And Squall's like, no! And he just hits random stuff. He just pulls his inner Selfie. How should I know? What would Selfie do? Damn! I gotta rely on Selfie's logic. Which, Selfie's logic is just, as you saw in the space, just hit random stuff and hope for the best. And it says like, yes, we are turning! So, luckily we don't hit Zell's mom's house, because, you know, that would be very bad. So, we're gonna crash in the sea. Luckily this is a boat. So we are just going to casually just go right into the sea, splash water everywhere, and we are done saving the Garden. So we saved the Garden from missiles, and we're gonna catch the squad on the next part. So with that, folks, I'm gonna close out on this part, and we're gonna figure out what we are going to do with the Garden in the next part. The next part's not going to have a lot of battles. There will be one boss battle, but it's mainly a dialogue part, so I'm sorry about that for the next part, but I hope you catch me on the next one as well. So, I'll catch you on the next one, folks. Later and bye. Ahoy, all mateys. This is the Balamb Garden. Shut up, Phil. Anyways, later, folks.